Does it work?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm James Harden. I'm a member of the AAT, Americans Against Tyranny. We're here tonight to talk about some personal traffic experiences and to give you folks some motions and stuff that you can use and show you ways to set up your own legal briefs, to file in the courts, to beat these road Nazis. So anyway, I'm right now in the middle of a court case, and I sent off to the Secretary of State, which I suggest everyone does right off the bat, and you send off for their statement of elected officer, which is that applies to the judges, and the oath of office also applies to judges, and it also applies to the district attorneys. And an anti-bribery statement. In the state of Texas, all officers have to have an anti-bribery statement on file where they took an oath swearing that they didn't accept any bribes to obtain that position, and swearing they will not take any bribes to continue to hold that position. And also, I asked for registration of foreign propagandists and foreign agent registration statements. That has a lot to do with the Bar Association. Personally, I've been before the judges and arguing with them, and the DA will be over here, yak, 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 and I'll just keep saying, I object. You know, I haven't even seen his foreign agent registration statement, and as per Rabinowitz versus Kennedy, foreign agent registration, 1938, he is required by law to have a foreign agent registration statement on file. And the reason is this: anybody who is a representative or such things, such as a representative, accountant, anything like that, for a foreign principal or power, must be registered under this act, the Foreign Agent Registration Act. And my argument is just simply that I haven't seen this guy's foreign agent registration statement. The judge looks at me and goes, well, he's the prosecuting attorney for the city or for the state. And I say, I object. He has no part of our local, state, or federal government. He's a dues-paying, card-carrying member to a private club. And his oath and his duties and his best will and interest is to that club and not to the city or the state or the citizens thereof. So you want to have this. This one that I sent off for personally for Judge Reagan Helm of the County Criminal Court Number 1 of Harris County, Texas, and officers R.T. Hatcher and M.W. Sally of Houston Police Department, Harris County, and attorneys Michelle Bennett, Shay Taylor, and Robert Summerlin. Robert Summerlin is the one that I had a personal run-in with at the courthouse number 1 of the county criminal courthouse. And Mike Hawkins, I don't know if any of you guys know him, but he's a friend of ours and another member of the AAT, and he went with me that day to court. And I filed a motion that day for a notice of motion. Anytime you file a motion, you need to have a notice of motion to your city attorney office, and then, which pretty much looks like this. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then you want a notice of motion for what you're asking for in your motion that goes to the courts also. And then anytime you file a motion with the courts, you need to have 4 copies. One for yourself that you get file stamped, because I've filed cases this thick, and the DA's office lost them, and so did the judge. You know, never seen this. What do you mean, motions? You filed motions? Absolutely. Why is it that I'm the only one with a file stamped copy? You know, how can you lose it and the DA's office lose it? You know, that falls under RICO statutes. You know, but at any rate, I filed a motion for dismissal for lack of jurisdiction, and it doesn't matter what kind of case you're in, if it's traffic, if it's family court, if it's civil, administrative, legislative, it doesn't matter. You know, you always want to file a motion for dismissal if you are the defendant, that is, for lack of jurisdiction. And, you know, first reasons are what we've already went through as far as foreign agent registration statements and so forth. The other one is, another reason would be, I believe in the Texas Constitution, it's Article 2, Section 1, for separation of powers doctrine. They're in violation of that. They've created legislation, and through this legislation, they have created administrative courts and proceedings, and then they also have judicial proceedings. And so the first question you want to ask up there is this an administrative hearing or is this a judicial hearing? I demand a judicial hearing. Never accept an administrative procedure. When you are the defendant, you want a judicial proceeding in there. And the reason why is because if it's administrative, they're not bound to anything. They're not bound to the Constitution, and they can hold you liable for all these statutes and stuff that are in contradistinction to your constitutional rights. And so what I said on this one is James D. Harden, by restricted appearance under Rule E8 of the Supplemental Rules for Certain Admiralty and Maritime Claims, hereby invokes the common law jurisdiction. You must invoke the common law jurisdiction always, right off the bat, of this court by virtue of Article 1, Section 10. And Article 1, Section 10 of your Texas Constitution states that any defendant in any criminal proceeding has the rights to defend himself or by counsel or by both. And as Mike saw in my case, they tried to take me out in the hallway, you know, and talk to me about it. And I said, hey, I know where they're going with this, you know. They're trying to create a little mock trial deal here. So when they asked me to come out to the hallway, I want you to come with me. And when they ask you who you are, you tell them you're a friend, a witness, and counsel. And so sure enough, you know, we all go out into the hallway there, and at the county criminal courthouse, court number 1. And this Robert Summerlin guy, they sicked him on me because, first of all, to back up a little bit, I filed these motions. The judge is up there reading through them, and he's like looking around, and reading some more, and he looks around, you know, and then he has this woman come up here and says, hey, you know, the judge wants to speak with you. So I went up there, and he goes, who wrote these motions? And I said, I did. And he goes, well, how do you know all this, you know? And where'd you get it from? And I said, well, I've been studying law for about 5 years now, and I did it myself. And he goes, well, what kind of law? And I said, constitutional law and American jurisprudence. And American jurisprudence is in line with the Constitution at all times. And if you look up the definition to am jur, it says it's the conscience of the law. And so what I did in these motions, and there's copies available for everyone if you want to get a copy and go through them as we go, is they're already in their appealable form. And what I mean by that is when you go out and the judge says, you know, I'm dismissing this is a frivolous motion. And then, of course, your first response to that would be, okay, sir, if it's frivolous, of course, you're prepared to tell me by what grounds is it frivolous. And force him to tell you right then. You know, too many people go into the courts and the judge says, I'm dismissing this is a frivolous motion. And they go, oh, okay. And they walk out a loser, you know. Make the judge tell you, by what grounds is it frivolous? And I hereby request opportunity to correct that frivolous portion that you say you're dismissing it for. And tell them that you are demanding the right for that opportunity to amend it and to correct anything that might be frivolous in it. And so this woman comes up to me and says, you Mr. Harden? I said, yes, I am. She goes, well, I'm looking here at your case, and I show you served 2 days in jail, and the fine for driving on a suspended driver's license is 3 days in jail and a $100 fine. So you served 2. If you're willing to serve 1 more day and pay us $100, then we'll just dismiss this. I let that earn. I said, how about no, and how about we go to trial? And